Hello, clever people, and welcome to my review for It Chapter 2. So, It Chapter 2 is a follow-up to the smash hit from 2017, a film everybody adored, everybody could not stop talking about. It was absolutely loved by everybody. It was a huge box office success, so they decided to make a second one because when you have all that money and all that good critical reception, of course you're going to make a second one. So this one follows the book in that it follows the kids 27 years later where they come back to kill the It monster, Pennywise. However, when they come back, they find that it's a lot more difficult than they expect, and through this 3-hour saga, they learn how to confront childhood trauma, all while trying to get rid of Pennywise. So It Chapter 2 was a movie I was so excited to see. And I mean, I was crazy excited. I started listening to the audiobook and just like prepping for it. I saw it again in theaters because they re-released it. They re-released Chapter 1, which was a great idea. And I haven't gotten through the audiobook yet. I will say I love it. It's really, really good so far. I don't know if it's the way that the narrator writes it reads it, or the way that Stephen King wrote it, but the dialogue just flows so well. I really loved the It book. I really liked It Chapter 1, so I was just super excited for this. And I will say, I honestly really did enjoy this movie. Is it flawed? Oh yeah. There are so many flaws with this movie. There are so many things that it does wrong. And I 100% understand somebody who says that they dislike this movie because it does almost everything wrong. I mean, it's not well made. I will be the first to admit that. It's not really a well-made movie. There are some well-made elements in it, but overall, the movie is kind of a mess. It has some tonal issues. It has some pacing issues. It's not as conclusive as one would really want it to be. And the end is so cheesy and sappy. Even I got a little, I was rolling my eyes by the end of the movie. But the reason I like this movie so much is because it subverted my expectations. By having a 3-hour movie, I was expecting for it to be epic. I was expecting for it to be huge. And I was expecting for it to be absolutely terrifying. And I will say this, the movie is not scary. It really isn't. And usually that's a problem with horror movies, but I think that the director and the people working on this movie understood what it was, or at least along the way understood what it was. They realized that it wasn't going to terrify audiences because a lot of the scariness of it comes from kids being terrified, and when it's adults, it's not really the same effect. So they decided to just have a blast with this movie, and because of that, I had a blast with it. I have not had so much fun in a movie since Endgame, and if you're not counting Endgame, I don't know when is the last time that I've had this much fun in a theater. I mean, the director really went out and made a 3-hour, probably $100 million plus budget movie, a horror movie, but above all else, just a hangout movie. It's so fun. It is such a sleepover type movie. When it comes out on Blu-ray, I'm getting it because anytime I have a sleepover and we want to stay up late and we want to watch a movie, I'm popping in It Chapter 2. You don't necessarily need to pay attention to it, but it is so much fun. This movie does not miss a beat. It is constantly so much fun. I can't emphasize that word enough. I was entertained by this movie thoroughly. And the first time I did have a bit of a problem with its length, it being 3 hours long. The second time, that problem went away completely. I did see this 2 times in opening weekend because I just wanted to go back and have more fun with it, and I will be seeing it a third time because I wasn't 100% sure on my rating the first time, and I'm not really my second time because, like I said, this movie is pretty problematic, but above all else, it's having fun with itself. The actors are having a lot of fun and doing a great job. Bill Hader, so good in this role. He was perfectly cast in this role. All the other actors, the recasting is so good, especially for the guy who was recast as Eddie. He looks so much like the kid version. It's insane. Also, my biggest qualm with this movie and my biggest actual problem with it that I can't really just forgive is the fact that they rely so much on old kid stuff where they have scenes with the kids when they were younger. I mean, probably 45 minutes to an hour of this movie is the kids, and some of the timeline stuff doesn't really make a whole lot of sense, and it just kind of messed with me and it made my experience a lot worse. Overall, the second act does kind of drag down the movie, but the first and third are non-stop fun. The second act, when it's focusing on adults, is non-stop fun. I know that this movie isn't very well made. I know it won't age well, but the performances in it and the director's enthusiasm and everyone's enthusiasm keeps this movie going and keeps it alive. So overall, if you aren't a fan of the first It, definitely don't see this movie. If you are, go in not expecting a movie as scary as the first one, not a movie as well polished, but a movie that is just pure entertaining from start to finish. I will give It Chapter 2 a 7.75 out of 10. Alright, that concludes my review for It Chapter 2. So, what are your thoughts on this film, or what do you think of the original first one, or what do you think of the book? Comment in the comment section below and let me know. I'm Robert Burke, and this has been The Clever Critics. Goodbye.